Hey, good afternoon and welcome everyone. This is Leonard with Indie Band Coach, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and thank you all so much for just kind of contributing to our lives the last few days, and just being a part of the community. As you know, that we're here to try and help you pivot versus panic through this transition. And one of the things that's really popular now, one of the things that everyone is talking about, like literally within the last week, is how can I perform my music? How can my band transition to doing online shows, since all of my live shows are getting canceled? And for those of you that are in our Blonde Entertainment camp and have been contributing to the actual fundraiser to help support the bands that have lost their gigs this entire rest of the month, thank you for contributing and participating in that. And thank you to Lisa Sauce and Blonde Entertainment for looking out for the bands as always. So we appreciate that. But what we're here today to do is to not just talk about how to pivot and like how to get your music online and help you reach your fans, but specifically, I'm honored to bring to you the author and the tech guru and just all around awesome person. This is Karen Allen, and she's the author
Hello.
of. Hi there. Hi, Karen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome. She's the author of Twitch for Musicians, and just in literally the last week that I've had a chance to dive into the book. And Karen, I don't even know if I told you this, but my wife and I literally just started our Twitch channel like 3 days ago, and we're walking step through the book. And yeah, we're just like, instead of like going off in the background and creating something and then trying to release it, let's just learn as we go. So we're literally broadcasting as we're learning and just doing coffee before we start work. But we'll see.
That's how everybody does it. Everybody learns by doing. Yeah. That's a great way to do it. Yeah.
So cool. So Karen, just for those of our audience that is not aware of, first of all, we'll talk about Twitch in a second, but just can you share just a little bit about yourself and just kind of how you got into this specific, I guess we'll call it Twitch niche, but just kind of how you kind of got involved in this and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I kind of fell backwards down the live streaming rabbit hole a few years ago, discovered YouNow and thought it was just really incredible how people were paying for content that looked a lot like the same content you would get on YouTube. Like I couldn't understand why were teens paying teenagers to do YouTube teenage content only live. So I had to, I mean, this is during a time when Spotify wasn't doing that great. No one was really paying for it. And, artists are really hurting for money. Now the industry's healed a little bit and there actually is a lot of money coming in through streaming services. But at the time it wasn't significant. But meanwhile, there are a bunch of people paying for content online, which looked a lot to me like YouTube content. Mm-hmm. So I went on YouNow and I figured it out. I started broadcasting myself. So I wanted to see what the experience was like on the inside. Like, how do you channel? How do you create audience? What do you do when you're live? Like, I didn't know. So I started streaming on YouNow, basically an advice show because it's all teenagers and it's video and I can't fake that I'm not a teenager. So I did a sort of adult advice show. If you wanted to ask an adult anything, but not an adult in your life, then I'll give it my best shot and, use it at your own risk, basically, which is the idea.
Yeah.
And I learned a hell of a lot. I learned, how this was different from every other social content platform I'd ever been on. Mm-hmm. How it was different to create content for it, how the interaction with the viewers was different, or the followers, so to speak. And I understood what people paid. I really got why they paid. And they were paying a little more for experience than they were for content. They were paying to have fun. So every live stream platform has some sort of content touch point. With Twitch, it's games. With YouNow, it's teenagers. With Facebook, it's kind of everything. But there's sort of, you go to the stream because you're interested in the content. You stick around because the community is working for you. So the community that the streamer creates around themselves with the audience and the community that's being created in the chat from viewer to viewer, that's what you stick around for. And that is what they monetize. Twitch is managed, and YouNow and a bunch of other people have managed to sort of gamify community and then put a layer of freemium monetization on top of that gamification. And that's how we have people paying to watch teenagers do stupid teenager tricks.
Yeah.
And so I saw it working for teenagers, and then I went to Twitch, and then I saw it working for Twitch, and I saw it working for gamers, and I saw it working for musicians, and I saw it working for all different kinds of creators. And that told me that this was not something that was an anomaly for, it wasn't like a teenager trend, the way that Snapchat was a teenager trend, you know? If it can work for different topics and different age groups and different genders, even, you know, it can work for anything. It's a matter of having a touch point around the content and a good community experience to wrap that around. And if you can put those two things together, then you've got a winner.
Cool. Now, just real quick, what were you doing right before you discovered the Twitch or even the YouNow thing? Like, what were your...
So my real job for the past decade or so, I do strategy and business development for startups, tech companies that work in the entertainment space. It ends up being a lot of startups. It ends up being a lot of music. So I've seen just about every idea come and go, and I've been in the general music, entertainment, tech space, you know, since the 90s. So I've really seen every idea come and go. And I've always kind of worked at sort of macro levels of the industry, whether it was for, you know, trade organizations or consulting companies or whatever. So I'm used to seeing how all the pieces fit together, how they're all like developing over time. What is their contribution? How do they evolve? What do they provide to people? What, you know, people getting out of them? So I'm kind of used to seeing a landscape view of our industry.
That makes sense.
Never really thought I would chuck all my clients and just jump with both feet into one platform, but here I am.
Is that kind of what happened though? You kind of drew a line in the sand and like, you're going to go all in, huh?
Yeah. Well, what happened was, I wanted to do on Twitch what I did on YouNow, but I'm not an artist and I don't play games, and I wanted to see, you know, what Twitch is all about for artists. So I talked a friend of mine who's an artist into doing a channel, and I'm like, let me produce your channel, because I just really want to see how all this works. And she got pregnant and couldn't tour that year. So she was looking for something to do online. I wasn't sure she should just do a series of concert windows or stage hits, or if she should, you know, she was starting to think, well, maybe I should do YouTube or Facebook. Like, she didn't really know what to do. So I kind of raised my hand and said, let's do it together. So her name was Marina V. Her channel on Twitch is Marina V Music. And she's been up for it'll be a year in like a week or so, and it's been great for her. She can stay in touch with her audience and make some money along the way. And I mean, she loves doing online concerts. She loves doing living room concerts, so she likes talking to her fans anyway.
That's awesome.
But that's kind of how I got into Twitch, and just by doing it, seeing it from the inside, building a channel, seeing how different it was from YouNow. On YouNow, you just click go live, like right off the website or off the app, and you're live. That's all it takes. But on Twitch, on the desktop, you don't go live from Twitch. You need to use software. You have to download a whole separate software program. And then if you want to have alerts pop up on the screen when somebody follows or interacts with the chat in any way, if you want anything automated in the chat, that's a whole other separate set of services. That's not live stream production software, and it's not even Twitch. And I was like, whoa, what is happening? Like, why isn't this all in one spot? So I'm like, this is so good for artists. It's such an amazing resource, and they're never going to get past this learning curve. So I decided I would do an online course, and the online course turned into being also a book, because during the process of drafting a course, I ended up writing a book. So I just put both out. And I literally just pushed out second edition like 3 weeks ago before all this happened. It was just sort of, you know, coincidence that I just updated it. So it's really fresh.
As we were reading the book, we noticed that there were literally only, you know, 5 or 6 months in between edition 1 and edition 2, because so much stuff had changed.
So much of it changed. Enough of it changed that I felt like I had to update. I mean, fortunately, I didn't have to rewrite the entire thing, but there were a lot of user interface changes, and there were some like functional changes on some of these sites too. So I'm like, okay, let's just redo it. So
yeah,
here I am.
Great. Well, cool. And so, one of the questions, obviously, that I have, that probably a lot of people have, would be like, what are some of the live streaming options out there? And I know that you have made a really cool graphic. Do you want to share your screen? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and share the screen.
Let's see here.
Yeah. So this is my little infographic I made. Last week, everybody was calling me and saying, "What do I do?" And I was just having the same conversation over and over again. And I'm like, I'm just going to make an infographic. so I did. The first thing, well, even before you go into this, ask yourself, do you want to do only a few streams, or do you want to do streaming regularly? If you only want to do a few streams, then go where you already have audience. And that's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, probably. Those are the three big ones. If you want to, if you're only going to do a few, I just say go where you have audience. Like, don't try to bring people onto a different platform. Just go where they already are and do your best with it. If you want to do streaming regularly, which I think most artists are going to be doing, for the next probably 3 months at least, they're going to have to do more than just 1 or 2 streams, but probably something a little more regular. Then you want to take a look at this infographic. And then the first question I ask you is, do you want people to buy a ticket or not? Do you want to put a paywall up? And if you do want to put a paywall up, pretty much the only option out there right now is Stage It. They've been around for a long time. They're a very solid company. They can turn these over pretty quickly. You are still responsible for all the production because they don't show up with a bunch of gear. So you've got to do all your own production. But in terms of offering a paywall and taking, in-stream donations, Stage It, great option for that. There is one more coming up soon. It's called Immedia, IMMEDIA.co. They should be launching in the next week or 2. But for now, Stage It. If you don't care about people buying tickets to a stream, then your options are Twitch, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live. I don't include Instagram because Instagram has a terrible directory for live. I mean, they definitely bury it. It kind of only exists in stories. Unless you're on looking at stories when the artist you want to see is live, you're never going to see it. And there's, to my knowledge, no monetization, I don't think. And it's sort of it's kind of like a Periscope style experience, which I'm also not a fan of because you can't really see enough of the comments. I'm not a big fan. But like Keith Urban's doing it, John Legend's doing it. There's a bunch of people who are doing IG lives because they have a massive audience on Instagram and they're just doing a one-off and they just kind of want to do like a social good for their fans, basically. And it's a nice mass media way of doing that. So I don't knock it for that purpose. I just don't really recommend it. If you want to monetize, if you want to do any sort of regular streaming, also with Instagram Live, you can only go live from Instagram.
And on mobile.
Well, but you have to be on Instagram.
Right. That's what I meant. Like, you can only do it on Instagram and it has to also be on
from
mobile.
The app. Yeah. So it's different. So on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, you can use a software a live stream production software program. And you can actually multicast into any of those at the same time if you want, but you can't multicast into Instagram because you can only go live from Instagram on Instagram.
Yeah. That's kind
so
of fun.
that's a big differentiator. Do you want to monetize? And I get into monetization.
And obviously that's a big question now with a lot of musicians losing out on live actual shows and things like that. So that's a big question, and I've had several questions about that come to me. So I'm really excited about Twitch and the possibilities there.
Yeah. Well, the big thing with monetization on these platforms, for now, I'm talking about Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. You have to qualify into their monetization programs. So if I were to start a stream right now with a fresh account, I wouldn't be able to monetize. It would take me time to qualify into that. And the qualifications are a little bit different from service to service. Facebook, I'm actually not sure what the qualifications are. I actually couldn't find any data on that. But if you stream on Facebook, you're not going to get any ad revenue unless you have at least 300 concurrent viewers, which is quite a lot to get, especially if you're an artist. So don't count on that. People can buy stars for you, which is kind of like a little, it's like a virtual currency. So they buy stars and they give stars, and stars are kind of like the tips. So you can buy, 1,000 stars and give 100 stars to this person, 100 stars to that person, 100 stars to that person, and you get 1 cent for each one of those stars. So Facebook charges $1.40 to the consumer for the stars, and then your split on that is 1 cent. So it's about a 70% rev share on that. So that's how stars work on Facebook. The only other monetization on Facebook is putting up in your profile somewhere the information about the stream. You can just put your PayPal link or your Venmo link, and people do that, and they make money with that. Yeah. I don't think it's very fun. I think people will spend money with you when they're having fun, and it's not generally fun just to give money, right? It's fun to give money and to give the stars. It's fun to give money and have an alert appear that says that you just gave money. Like, that's a fun experience. Just saying like, here's $5 it's not really fun.
Yeah, because a person like giving the money is obviously they're getting a concert and they're viewing something like that. But with the other kind of features that you're talking about, like there's an immediate give and a take, or actually a give and a receive. It's like, oh, I gave money.
It's gamified community. It's freemium gamified community. The same way that if you play Farmville and it's more fun for you to buy a tractor, you're going to buy a tractor. It's the same thing. You're watching a stream. It's fun to watch a stream. It's more fun to give money and request a song. It's more fun to buy a little animated GIF that pops up on the screen. Like, that's fun. So you're more likely to do that. I mean, you're doing it to support the streamer, but if there's fun ways to support a streamer, you're much more likely to get a sale from a fan. Just the way it works. Facebook also is terrible as far as surfacing any streams, so people have to know where it is. Like they don't have a great directory, is what I'm trying to say. For all their streams, Twitch does. Twitch has a really good directory, but like Facebook and YouTube do not have great directories for live, and Instagram has 0 directory. It's awful. So that's monetization on Facebook. Twitch. So this is how Twitch works. You have to qualify into the monetization program. You're going to want to be an affiliate. There's 2 different levels of monetization with Twitch: affiliate and partner. Partner is really hard to get. Don't even worry about that for now. Just get into the affiliate program, and you get into the affiliate program by hitting certain milestones with your streams, which you are not going to hit in one stream. So this is kind of why I say, do you want to do a one-off? Do you want to do like maybe 2 or 3 streams, or do you want to be a streamer? And if you want to do 2 or 3 streams, go where you have audience. And if you actually want to do a series of streams, then it makes sense to build a channel on another platform. And I just personally think Twitch is the best right now for artists. But if you're only going to do a few, do it where you have audience. Just get in and get out. So for Twitch, you have to have at least 50 followers. It's free to follow, so that's not usually a problem. You need to have an average of 3 concurrent viewers. Usually not a problem. You have to have streamed a certain number of streams within a 30-day period and a certain number of total hours streamed within a 30-day period. So if you are regularly streaming and you are bringing audience into those streams, it is not too difficult to hit affiliate. And once you hit affiliate, that's when you can start earning with Twitch's on-platform monetization. And they have 2 main ways you can make money with them. First, people can subscribe to your channel, and the subscriptions are preset at $5, $10, and $25 per month. And 5 is the most popular, obviously. And the big win out of subscriptions for the viewer is they can use your custom emoji. You can also do like subscription only streams. You can also do subscription only chat. It's not really fun unless you have like so many people in your chat that it's not really a reward. You're excluding people, if you pull that too early. So the big win early on, while you're still building your channel, is creating emoji, which Twitch calls emotes. You can create your own. to use anywhere on Twitch, basically, but obviously they're going to use it in your channel. And it's a way for people to use your branded emotes to sing with you, dance with you, applaud, show love, laugh, like whatever you want your emoji to be. And it's important to note that Twitch doesn't have the same universal emoji on their platform that you have on your phone and Facebook. They have their own set of emoji, and it's different, and it's very gamer oriented, and it's very like Twitch inside jokey. So a lot of that's not going to be relevant to people who are just straight out music fans. They're not going to know what all this emoji is. So that's why it's also kind of important to be able to create your own emotes, because people can relate to you and communicate with you to express themselves in ways that actually make sense between the two of you.
Yeah, just in even the few times that we've been in there, which I believe the numbers are 7 different streams in the first 30 days, and then a total of 8 hours within the first 30 days is what it gives you a little summary after you do your stream, which I think is very cool.
You have it gives you a little progress bar basically on each one of the things you have to check off. So again, if you have a little bit of an audience right now and you just want to get in and do it, like I've seen people hit affiliate in 2 weeks. I've seen them hit it in 2 months. It just depends on how often you want to stream and how many people you can bring to your stream. That's all.
Yeah. And with the emotes, is that they're called emotes?
Emotes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It looks like they're almost like just their own like world of like little just GIFs of like little snapshots of like
it's
GIFs.
A JPEG.
Yeah.
I make them on Canva. I mean, you don't need to be a genius to make these. You just do a transparent background. There's 3 different sizes. Twitch will tell you the sizes. You make them on Canva or Photoshop or whatever you want to make it in.
Yeah.
And you're set. You're good. You can probably, if you really wanted to, you could probably really make it on PowerPoint. PowerPoint's my cheater graphics program. And then I export that to a JPEG, and then I like use Photoshop or whatever to make it smaller. I'm not very good at Photoshop, so I have all kinds of workarounds.
I understand.
But it's really easy. And when people subscribe to you, they also get a little badge next to their username when they're in your stream that identifies them as a subscriber. So these are sort of like, your carrying card for I joined the fan club.
Yeah, like
this is a way to say I'm a fan. I'm a real fan. I'm using the emoji. I have the badge. I'm a big fan. It kind of sets you apart from the rest of the people in the chat. So that's another reason why people like to subscribe.
That's cool. Yeah.
So that's subscriptions. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I was just going to say, I think we've done literally just 2 streams, and I think one of the criteria is like to have like 3 concurrent viewers. And we're like at 2.2 right now. Like that's our. So I'm like, okay, we'll hit that in a couple more. So it's kind of like a cool way to, incentivize you to like keep going, because now you can see, the goals that you're reaching for like each stream. So it's very cool.
Totally, yeah. Yeah. The other on-platform monetization with Twitch is virtual currency, and they call that bits. So you buy bits and you spend the bits on the streamer, kind of like the stars on Facebook. You buy the stars and give the stars to the streamers. You buy bits and then you give bits to the streamer. So you can just give bits, or you can spend bits on what's called a cheer mote, which is an animated emote. And that appears in the chat, or it also appears on screen.
That's cool.
It's really cool. It's fun. And they have all kinds. I mean, I think when you're a partner, I think you can start making your own cheer motes. But for the affiliate, you definitely cannot. But they have lots of really fun, cute little cartoony, bubbling hearts and cute little, narwhals and unicorns and crap like that. They have like a lot of really cool ones. And then you can put a little message on it too, if you want. And your name goes on the emote, which goes on the cheer emote, which goes on the screen, and it goes to the chat, and it's like, oh, so and so just gave me a cheer emote. That's awesome. So, and cool. the rev share on the bits works exactly like stars. So you get 1 penny for every bit spent on you, whether they give you a bit or they spend it on a cheer emote for you. And they sell for $1.40 for 100. About, that's kind of like the retail rate, and of course there's sales on that too. The sub rev share is 50%, which is I think terrible. But it is what it is.
Yeah. So for each $5 subscription that we get, we only get 250,
Mhm.
basically. Okay. All right.
Totally, yeah. That's on platform. Twitch manages it. Twitch takes the money. Twitch pays you out on
Okay.
Twitch monetization. Then there's a whole off Twitch monetization that you can do on day one. And this is kind of why I also like Twitch for artists, because you can take money through your stream on day one without qualifying into anything.
Ah.
And the way you're going to do that is you're going to use what I call streamer services.
Mhm.
And streamer services are these companies that work with your live stream production software to enable things like alerts. So when someone follows you, you can generate an alert on the screen and in the chat. When someone subscribes, you can generate an alert. They donate, you can generate an alert. You can put overlays, which is basically a graphic that lays over the top of the video. And those can be things like pictures. They can be little decorations. They can be a frame, around your whole screen. It
Gotcha.
can be stuff that is interactive with the chat. Like there's things called event lists where you can keep kind of a running tally that refreshes itself of who recently took an action, who subscribed, who donated, who hosted your channel, who followed, whatever. It kind of like refreshes itself.
Yeah.
You can put those sorts of things on there. You can have goals, follower goals with progress bars. You can have
Oh.
donation goals with progress bars. That's all generated not through Twitch, not through streamer software,
Mhm.
streamer services.
Okay.
And the streamers, there's like the Pepsi and Coke with streamer services, and that they are Streamlabs and Stream Elements. So you'll use one of the two of them. And then you'll tie in all of their features into your live stream production software, which is where you actually produced the stream. And
Gotcha.
then the live stream production software shoots that out to Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or all of them, depending on how you want to do that. So that's
Gotcha.
kind of how the whole thing pulls together. But because you can take a donation through these streamer services, and the streamer services are the one that generates the alert, that's why you want to route your donations through them. And the other reason why is they do not take a revenue share. So you're going to upload your you're going to connect basically your PayPal account, or you
Mhm.
can use their credit card processing system, and that's how the money gets collected. But those services don't take anything on top of what the regular payment processing fees are, which is whatever PayPal charges, and then like 3% for the credit cards. So if you can route your donations through there, you get all the interactive features, that you want in your stream, and no rev share. It's pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we need to. Apparently, my wife and I, we need to go back to that chapter because. Oh, actually, no, we did just start to. We did actually just hook up our Streamlabs, and then we were looking into Stream Elements.
They're
And
very similar. I mean, I like some things. I like Streamlabs for some things and Stream Elements for other things, and I use them both. And you can use them both. They also like Streamlabs has their own version of OBS, which is the live stream production software you're going to use. So OBS is an open source software, which means anybody can build on it.
okay,
And so Streamlabs made their own version of OBS, and it just puts all of the Streamlabs features right into one platform. So you don't need to go to the site to program it and then plug it into OBS. You just kind of all do it in one spot. So it's convenient for that. But there are certain things on Stream Elements that I like a lot better. So you can use both. And you can, even if you use Streamlabs OBS, you can still use Stream Elements features on it.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
you can use both in any respect. Anyway, that is Stage It, Facebook, and Twitch. Do you have any questions about that?
Well, yeah. What is looking at that then as the context of like monetization? Um, how would a musician who has fans on Facebook, what would their mindset be in terms of like growing a fan base on Twitch? Like, what's the process, or like how do musicians grow a fan base on Twitch?
So you're going to grow it literally on Twitch, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do your best to get your fans to come to Twitch. So
Got
you're going to find fans on the Twitch platform.
it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know artists that start from nothing on Twitch and grow fan bases there. And I know one artist who purposely didn't tell their fan base that they were going on Twitch because they wanted to see if they can build an audience, and they did. And then they brought their regular audience in. And there's other artists that bring their audience in from day one, and then they're a little more easily discoverable, because the more streamers you have, I'm sorry, the more viewers you have, concurrent viewers you have in your stream, the higher you go in the listing in the music category. So it's generally most views to least amount of views. So if you can get more people watching, then that's going to throw you higher in the directory. And people do look through the directory to find people to watch. So that's handy.
Yeah. And I know that literally that's, I'm probably following, 15 or 20 people now. And it's basically literally just been going through the category, seeing who was live, and just kind of vibing with them. And
yeah,
I bought some bits to give away and stuff like that, just to show some love and just experience that whole thing from the viewer standpoint, just so I know what the other side would be.
Yeah, it's fun to give bits, isn't it?
It is. And the
who
other
knew?
thing
Who knew it'd be fun to get somebody money?
Well, the other thing too is that when as we talked about, like when you do give bits, or you even subscribe or you follow any kind of action, especially the more experienced Twitch users have some sort of notification or some sort of indicator that comes up on the screen. And so not only do you see your name on the screen, but then they see it and they give you a shout out, and it's like, oh, that was real. It's a real person. We made it.
Right. It's fun. As a streamer, it's fun to be acknowledged. It's fun to play your music or do your thing and have someone appreciate it and say they appreciate it and contribute to your stream, whether it's just with a comment or with its actual, money. And it feels really good to get that immediate response and immediate gratification. And as a fan, it feels really good to give someone, a compliment or request a song or give them money and have that immediately acknowledged. You're like, wow, they actually noticed that I did something that, what I did mattered. And when you feel like what you do matters, you'll do it more. So it works really well for both sides, and it ends up being a pretty authentic experience, and it creates these really deep community connections between people. And I always say, look, if you feel like you're getting something of value, then you're going to want to give something of value. And if there are low monetization ways of doing that, you'll get the people who are sort of who are in the early stages of being a fan. And if you have high monetization ways of doing that, then your big fans will take those options. And it's not rocket science. That's how it works.
Yeah. And so just for those that have tuned in and those that'll actually see this obviously after the broadcast is done, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have a Twitch screen or something that you could share, just could show us, just so people could see just the layout real quick?
Yeah, I do. I want to show you quickly though before we do that.
Okay.
I do have an explanation, and we can go this quickly. I do have a monetization page for YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is a whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So YouTube works a little bit differently. So you can only qualify into monetization on YouTube if you have a strong YouTube channel. And a strong YouTube channel means you have at least 1,000 subscribers, and you have 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months. And then you can apply to be partner. Maybe a lot of people already are partner and this is old news to them. But if you're not a partner with them earning money, then that's the minimum you need to do it. And you apply for the program, and it takes a month at least to get authorized. So if you're looking to turn money over quickly and you're not a part of the partner program with YouTube, it's just going to be promotion for you. It's not going to be a moneymaker for you. That's just the truth of it. Once you have the monetization, you can do super chat and you can do stickers. And super chat basically is people can pay $2 or more. Their option is more to have their comment highlighted in the chat. And stickers are just little digital stickers. So they're kind of like emotes. You can kind of give stickers to kind of like giving bits, kind of like giving cheer emotes or giving stars. They call them stickers.
Gotcha.
And your rev share on that as an artist is 70%. So that's basic. If you have 30,000 channel subscribers, then you can charge what they call memberships, which is equivalent to the Twitch subscription. YouTube can't call them subscriptions because they already call, following a channel a subscription. So they have to call them memberships. And you join the little button you'll see on YouTube for that is join, because you're joining a membership, and it works like the same way. It's I think it's $5, $10, and $25. And streamers keep 70% instead of 50% like on Twitch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the other way to make money, obviously advertising. If you're already partner with the advertising program, you know all about this. It's 55% cut. And then the other way is merchandise. So they have a deal with Teespring where you can create your own print-on-demand merchandise, and they will integrate that to the bottom of just underneath your video. And then you set the markup on that. So Teespring says this t-shirt's $15. What do you want to charge for it? And you make the markup. So that's like the 4 ways to make money on YouTube. But
And I've seen your channels with those shirts, and I'm like, okay, what is that plugin? Like, I just thought it was like an external.
No,
like,
you qualify into
plugin.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Look, you can always put on your YouTube page, here's my PayPal.
Sure.
Here's my Venmo, and people can just send you money. But again, there's nothing fun to spend money on. They might anyway, maybe, but you'll do better if you have fun things to spend money on. It's fun to see your chat highlighted. It's fun to give a sticker, right? It's like these things are fun to do. So if you can create things that improve people's experience, people will almost always pay to improve their experience quicker than they will pay for content. No one likes to pay for content. That's boring.
Right.
But they'll pay for a good experience. Right?
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And just in the part of the book that I've read already, like that's what you've kind of alluded to is like one of the main differences between Twitch and just typical social media platforms is, you've highlighted it several times, but that it's fun, and that it's fun to interact, and it's fun to get that immediate feedback. And, just one of the biggest things that I took away from whatever chapter that was, but just one of the
number one.
I
literally kick off with, this is why we're here, people. This is what's happening. Like, I just kind of want to like set the mindset, because we're also used to dealing with these really transient, slide through the news feed kind of, social content platforms. We're not used to the opposite. We're not used to just hanging out with people. We're not used to sort of like settling into, 45 minutes to 2 hours with somebody and kind of relaxing into a community. Like, we're not used to that.
Yeah. And I forget where I posted it, but I'm like, Twitch is more like, you're going to hang out for 2 to 4 hours with someone versus just scroll by and watch a 2 to 4 minute video.
Right.
And
that's the average session length on Twitch is 90 minutes.
Wow.
90.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't have any data on how many channels people are on, but my gut's going to say somewhere between 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend some real time.
So that's not necessarily the average length of someone's conducting a stream. That's the average length of a viewer who's going on to Twitch to hang out with how many ever people. They're on there for an average of 90 minutes, and they might visit 2 to 4 people during that time or something like that.
That's what I'm guessing. I mean, that's just kind of just from being on it. I kind of assume that. And obviously more, like if you raid, if the streamer you're watching ends and raids another streamer, which is when they say, okay, we're done, let's all go watch somebody else, and they dump all of their viewers into someone else's stream. It's called a raid. I mean, you can end up watching more. I mean, I've as Marina's raided a channel, and then that channel was like 20 minutes from ending, and then they raid somebody, and then they raid somebody, and it's kind of fun because every time we get into a new raid, we're like, oh yeah, we brought Marina's people over, and then this person we raided. So you've got Marina's fans in here and like Jennifer Justice fans all in someone else's stream. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Um, so yeah, speaking of Marina, I know
Hmm.
you mentioned she's an artist that you work with, and you said
Hmm.
her particular circumstance was she wasn't able to go on tour because she was having a baby. And I think I actually have gone on and looked at some of her videos, and she's got like sections of videos, and one of them has like her, kids section on there every time her little baby comes on and does stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Baby V moments. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like cool. So you're really just able to categorize it and just share whatever you want to share and just
Yeah.
hang out. And I like that a lot.
Yeah, sure. So this is what this looks like. This is a live stream, like a screenshot of a stream.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what, what she does. So this is the video playing. This SJ Burns OD donated. That's an alert that we built. So when someone makes a donation, a little alert pops up here. There's
Mm-hmm.
also an alert in the chat down here that says that SJ Burns tipped $5. So she has two places to see it. And then it also goes in so this alert will go away after like 6 seconds. It's not going to stay on there forever.
Gotcha.
Um, and this is a little event list here where it says SJ Burns OD and then Kurt Gowdy and MJ Gardner. This is an event list, and this refreshes as new events happen.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the most recent. This $5 is the most recent thing. So it's on top when someone else follows or whatever. It's going to get pushed down, and there'll be up there. And those are great because that's a good way for the streamer to keep track of who's doing what. So if her head was down and she's performing and she missed that alert on the screen, she would see it later in the chat or she would see it on the event list.
Gotcha.
This top left corner here, we use Streamer Song List for this. And this is how she manages her song requests. So you can see the title of the song, the artist, how much money was donated, and who donated it. And this is just sort of a way of keeping track of what songs were requested and giving some attribution back to the people um, who put money onto it or not. It's fine to not as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and who did it. So it's kind of like a nice little point of recognition for
Yep.
your fans who are contributing, and it's also a way for people to keep track of what songs being played, you know,
Right.
and to know that they can make requests too.
Yeah.
So that's that. You can see that she has 15 concurrent viewers right now. This is fairly early into the stream.
Mm-hmm.
She has two different camera angles. She likes one to come from the side because she likes people to watch her play piano, but
Mm-hmm.
she likes looking people in the eye too. So she has that there. And then on the right side here is where the chat is, and that's kind of where all the action is for the stream.
Yeah.
She will read this, and that's people will post to it. She will read it and respond to them. And there are some automated messages in here on the top where it says request a song. That's an automated message that we have posted. It's called a chat timer. We use Stream Elements to program that. And a little lower where it says subscribe to my channel for free. That's actually called a chat command. So when anybody types in this exclamation point prime, it's going to return this set of text. So it's really great when she talks about how to join her channel using Amazon Prime, which by the way, you can because Amazon owns Twitch. So if you have a Prime account, you can subscribe to one channel per month for free on Twitch, and the streamer still gets the money.
That's cool.
So it's a really good thing to say to your fans, hey guys, if you have Prime, connect it to your Twitch and you can get a subscription to my channel for free.
Yeah.
And I still get paid.
Yeah.
And it costs them nothing. They just like connect it and then hit the little subscribe button up here on the top right, and like they're done. It's easy.
Nice.
So that's free. That's some free money all around.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cool.
Yeah, and then if you want to post a message, obviously little chat box down here, and that's how you do it. But that's sort of like the thrust of the page. If you were to scroll down on this page, then
Mm-hmm.
you would see a bunch of information that she's posted about herself, and you can think of that kind of like your profile page, and you can customize that with links out to your Spotify, your socials, your Bandcamp, bio about you, like whatever you want that to be.
Mm-hmm.
You can put on your page, and that sits there permanently, whether or not you're live.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And then how long did you say that she's been on Twitch? You said about a year, a little less than a
So
year.
it'll be a year. I think next week is our 1 year anniversary.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so just ballpark. I know it's going to be different for everyone, but just in general, like, how often would you recommend, if someone says, yes, I do want to be a streamer,
Mhm.
uh, how often would you recommend that a musician think about scheduling out, a stream during the course of a week, for example?
If you really want to do this and you want to build audience
Mhm.
and you want to commit to it, I would say 3 to 5 days per week, 2 to 4 hours per session.
Okay.
Yeah, the more you can do, the more you're going to get out of it.
Mhm.
That's hard for a lot of people, and I understand that. And
Yeah.
you can do less. I've seen people grow audiences, over a longer amount of time, only doing 1 or 2 days a week. But it's going to happen faster for you if you can do 3 to 5 days a week, 2 to 4 hours per session. The time flies by. It takes a good 45 minutes or so before people sort of all kind of assemble in
Mhm.
any sort of, quantity
Yeah.
because it's live, right? It takes a while for people to go, "Oh, they're on right now, and I should go check that out." Even if you post it to your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter saying, "Hey, we're going live right now."
Mhm.
It takes people a little while to see that and then to go. Um, and it's just even if they're already on Twitch and they follow you and they see you in their navigation because they see who they follow in the navigation, they go, "Oh, that person's live." It just takes a little while. So you need a good like 45 kind of warm up period. Um, and it goes by so fast. Honestly, it's not like a show on stage. You're going to play a
Right.
song and talk to the people, and
Mhm.
then play a song and then talk to the people. Marina gets through like 12 songs in 2 hours. It's
Wow.
not that much. That's like an
Yeah.
hour long, 45-minute set, if you were on stage. And if you think you
Mhm.
can drag that out over a couple hours, and again, it's fun, so it goes by pretty fast.
It is, and just from our own personal experience, just the way that our schedule is working out, we're actually going live in the morning
Mhm.
before we start our day because pick up our has 6 month old and we pick him up in the evening right now. But even just going, we're going like from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. when our official workday starts, and I can see the progress already on just the concurrent viewers and just that whole affiliate thing. But I think you mentioned like maybe the best time to actually go live is in the evening, maybe in the time zone you're in or the time zone of your
Yeah,
family.
the time zone that you want audience in.
Okay.
So if your audience is in America, then weeknights America is great.
Okay.
If your audience is in Europe, then that's morning for California.
Got
Um, just know that you're going to get a European audience more than likely. People go when they have time. It's usually when they're off working out of school. It's usually when they have
it.
time to really lean in, for extended amount of time into a stream. Oh, and there's Asia too. So Asia is also on Asia is
Mhm.
also on Twitch. So you might pick up some Asian audience if you do those times as well. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, consistency really is the key. This is why the first thing I ask is, do you want to do a few one-offs or
Mhm.
do you really want to be a streamer?
Right.
And if you're doing a few one-offs, just go where you already have audience. You're going to get so much more out of it. And if you just sort of want to be a streamer, even if you're just going to be a streamer once a week, but you feel like I want to really do this,
Mhm.
then it's worth the time. It's worth the time investment it takes to building a channel on Twitch. If you're going to do it for a few times, I don't know. I don't know. Unless you can bring unless you're a big band already.
Right.
If you're a big band already, you can make a bunch of people on Twitch and it's just where you want to be to
Mhm.
like be visible, in a new platform, then that's awesome too. But if you're looking at Twitch as something where you're going to grow your community and make money, it takes time to do that. And
Mhm.
streaming is a show up platform, just the way that your social media consultant would tell you, if you want to grow audience on Instagram, you better post 5 days a week and it better be
Mhm.
good information. It better be good posts. You
Yeah.
better do stories. You
Mhm.
can't do it once in a while and expect anything to happen. It's the
Right.
same thing on streaming. Streaming just takes more time.
Mhm. And then, is there, just from your experience, like, is there a normal time frame, or when could a new musician, let's say they do stream 3 times a week, a couple times during the week, once on the weekend, and they're doing a couple hours each time.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, there's no hard rules, but like, maybe affiliate. I think you said 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on who it is. But like, is there an
Yeah.
average amount of time like a musician might expect to start being able to see some, you know, monetization or being able to do
It's not so
something?
much about, I mean, it's obviously it takes time because it's a show up platform. You got to show up.
Yeah.
But how you grow is going to also be dependent on how you integrate yourself with the rest of the Twitch music community.
Hmm.
So if you want people to raid you, you have to let them know you're there, you
Yeah.
know. And A, never ask for a raid. B, never go to another streamer's channel and say, "Hey, I'm streaming soon." Never do that.
Mm.
It's seen as
Good.
stealing. It's seen as rude, and also as stealing their audience.
Yeah.
Um,
Hijack.
they call it a stream snipe. Yeah, you don't
Mm.
want to do that. The way you become a part of the community is to go find streamers that are similar to you in audience. They don't need to be exactly what you do for music, but if all of your favorite fans were watching you, who would you want to send them to see?
Mm.
Think of it that way. Who do you share audience with? Whose audience do you want to have to come watch you? Like with Marina, I would never raid an EDM DJ because her audience isn't going to dig it. And if they were to ever raid us, they wouldn't like Marina.
Hmm.
It's not the same audience. So
That
when
makes
I'm
sense.
picking people to raid and I'm picking
Oh.
um, artist streams to go sit in, to have her go sit in and be social and so forth. When we're looking for other artists to follow on
Just.
Instagram, um, it's who we think we would share audience with.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
So yeah, like most like artists or something like that you might put in your bio, like you know, sounds like or
mhm.
influenced by kind of thing, like things that you would have in common. That makes sense. I like that.
Yeah. Just close enough that if a bunch of their viewers were to come into your stream, they would stick around,
Hmm.
and vice versa.
Cool.
It's no fun when
I
people
just
come
saw a
in.
comment here.
Yeah, it's no fun when you get like 80 people in your stream all at once and then they're out of there in 10 minutes. you know, it's no fun. And you're
Yes.
wasting all your time. Um,
Right.
so, so yeah,
Right.
that's another way to grow. There's really no, hard and fast rule. I can just give you tips. I can give you
Sure.
tips. And the more that you assimilate into the community and become a part of the community and put out great content and do it regularly, like the better it's going to go for you and the smoother the transition is going to be. And if all of that is too much work and too much effort, I understand. If you have audience on Instagram, do it Instagram live. If you have audience on YouTube, do it on YouTube.
Right. But
Yeah.
if they do need help, I would assume that is probably as you were going through the process and working with Marina, that's how you came to come up with the course and the book itself.
I did. And I kind of felt like my advice is I think Twitch is the best opportunity for indie artists and
Hmm.
that's where I think they're going to find the most welcome home. But what I teach you is how to use OBS, and you can use OBS to stream to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter as well.
Gotcha.
And you can multicast. So the tools that I teach you travel actually from platform to platform. And you can even use the streamer services, Stream Elements and Streamlabs on your YouTube. I don't think it'll work with the chat. I don't think you can mod. I don't think you can make the moderators in the chat, but you can definitely do all the fun stuff on your screen
Hmm.
because that is agnostic to what's happening on YouTube. Basically, think of it like, when YouTube is just a place where you put a video, you don't make a video on YouTube. Twitch is a
Hmm.
place where you put a stream, you don't make a stream on YouTube on Twitch, right? So the same way that you would use iMovie to make your videos for YouTube, and you can do
Hmm.
whatever you want on that iMovie
In my movie,
in
yeah.
the video, it's going to show up on YouTube. Same thing with your stream. Whatever you create to be on screen in
Hmm.
your live stream production studio, which is OBS, that's going to show on your video on YouTube and on Facebook, regardless of whether they have any of the features that Twitch does. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so then Can you share a little bit then about, unless you have another point, but I was going to say, could you share a little bit then, like, what does the course, um, take through? Like, what could someone expect by if they were to go through the Twitch for Musicians course?
Yeah, so the course is a bunch of video walkthroughs.
Okay,
I literally share my screen and
that's cool.
click here, do this. This is what this needs to be and look like and say. Like I walk you through the whole thing. I kind of hold your hand. If you like YouTube tutorials, you will love my course. Um, and the course also has all the written parts of the book too. It's just sort of segmented down so you can find the thing you want to learn about a little quicker. The book is a book. I mean, the book is, a bunch of screenshots. It's a lot of the same information. It just depends on how you like to learn. Also on the course, there is a Q&A on each of the lessons, and I answer the questions in the Q&A. So you kind of have me as
Yeah,
well in the course, whereas the book, you bought a book and you're kind of on your own.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, I just pulled up the course.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what I also really like is that you are very generous, and just in terms of the curriculum, is like you give away the first two. People can go in and actually check out the first two sections and get really good in-depth information
Yeah.
before actually signing up. And I know my wife and I literally watched this hour-long preview together, which was
The whole thing. I
great.
know.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
whole thing. I mean, that just sort of tells you like the what and the why, right?
Mhm.
Of what live streaming is all about. Like, why are we here? What is this? How does this look and feel? What am I going to do? And then the rest of the course is technical walkthroughs, because there is a learning curve with this. It took me 6 weeks to figure out, and I'm good at this stuff. I have
Mhm.
never Googled anything so much in my entire life. Insanely frustrating. So I just wrote a book to make it easier and a course to make it easier. And then the final chapter is all my best tips for how to build audience.
Mm.
Yeah. What to do, what not to do. Just sort of, all the stuff that it would take you a long time of trial and error to figure out on your own. That last chapter is like strategies for success. Like here's your playbook. Now that you actually built a channel, what are you going to do? what are you going to do? So I tell you what to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to get to that section because
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely like, I consider myself kind of tech savvy and know how to do a few things and get in there, but just to think about the different pieces as they come together, just as, you know, shiny object syndrome as I can get, and as I imagine a lot of creative musicians can get as well. It's like, oh well, I'll just come back to that when I, you know, in some magical time when I'm going to have more concentration, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen. So it's great to have these tools. So I'm glad that you created those.
Yeah. I mean, it just takes time to figure it out. But the thing is, you only learn it once, and you're good. Once
Yeah.
you know it, like you're a champion, right? And
Mhm.
you can do whatever you want. And again, I like Twitch and OBS so much because you have so many options for how you can customize the experience for yourself and for the viewer, on screen, off screen, all the different things you can do to motivate them to have more fun with you.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately there's no tight little box that it all fits in.
Mhm.
YouNow actually is a great place if you have a really strong teenage following. Like it wouldn't hurt to go on YouNow because it's a
Mhm.
lot easier of a platform to use.
Gotcha.
They do have everything all in one. They do a lot of it for you. It's just that it's very teenager.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of music on there. For a healthy, vibrant, growing music community that is supportive and has good musicians.
Yeah.
Um, I find Twitch really hard to beat.
Mhm.
And honestly, like I don't work for Twitch. They didn't pay me to say this. Frankly, in a year's time, I could be saying, "Go over here now." you
Yeah.
know, I'm like, YouTube really pulled it out, man, and like that
Right.
is an awesome service now. And I would ditch.
Yeah.
I would make the move, or there could be something entirely new. I mean, maybe Caffeine, or maybe Mixer, or maybe any other platforms. Like really give Twitch a run for the money when it
Mhm.
comes to music, and you know that could be my advice then. But for this moment in time, right now, and the thing I like about Twitch also is it's not saturated. So it's not so saturated the way that SoundCloud is, the way that YouTube is, that if you were to start a channel right now, you've got a shot at growing organically from zero. And if you put a channel up on YouTube right now with zero, good luck getting anybody to watch it. Like, it's hard, really, really hard. And Twitch is not right now.
Right.
And with the pandemic that we're in, everyone's going to be, looking for something to do besides watch Netflix. Because once you run out of your Netflix list, and you've read all of Twitter, like, what are you going to do? And you kind of crave that connection.
Right.
It's, live streaming is lean forward. It's not lean back. SoundCloud is lean back. YouTube is lean back. Netflix is lean back. You kind of want to have human contact with people. And it's going to be really, really hard to do. And live streaming is such an amazing, way to sort of like have that satiation for needing that other human contact with the outside world and actual real time conversations. So I think all these live stream platforms are going to explode over the next, 1 to 3 months. And there's nothing like getting on an emerging platform right as it's taking off. Like, you can just rock it up right with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet, obviously, Twitch has been around for, I'm not sure how many years, but my wife's brother, my brother-in-law.
Yeah, 9.
9 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my brother-in-law is a game designer. He's worked with Vainglory, and now he's working with Dauntless. And so I knew about Twitch through that, meaning from a gamer standpoint. It took me a while to understand. I'm like, so you're saying that people go onto a website, onto a browser to watch other people play games? Like, they're not playing.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And you even alluded to it in the book, like, because it's fun. It's like,
because it's not singularly about content. It's about the community that comes together around the content. So Spotify is a pure play content platform, right? YouTube is a pure play, except for the live. YouTube is a pure play content platform. Live streaming is content wrapped in community. The community actually outpaces the content. The value of the community outpaces the value of the content. People are there to be a part of something big and to have connection with other people who like the same things they do. And the importance of that outpaces the importance of the content, if that makes sense. Not saying the content's not important. I'm just saying that the reason people are there are more because of the community than strictly for the content. And that is the first thing I teach you in the book. And that's the thing I keep going back to again and again and again. And if I can beat that into your head and you can absorb that, and sort of bring it out of you as you become a streamer, then, you'll do much better with being a creator on the platform and being a successful creator on the platform.
Yes. And that, I can attest to that, because that is, one of the things that got me really excited just in that first whole mindset shift in that first chapter was just the fact that, my wife and I were in a band together, and we were on stage together for a while and doing 125 shows a year and getting a chance to just be in that community and like have people that were coming to, 90% of those shows. It's like you get used to hanging out with people. And since then, we've moved from the Midwest out to California now. And so, like, our community, we still catch up with them every once in a while, or people will comment on a post, and it's like, oh, let's see if we should, text or call somebody. But just even in the last couple of days that we've, and what we're doing, we're simulcasting. We're doing our on our Facebook page and on Twitch at the same time, just as we're starting to learn what's going on, and we've got our Twitch window up and stuff like that. So we're just now starting to get that. But just seeing some of the types of shows that are on Twitch, it gave so much comfort that we didn't have to come up with a big plan. We didn't have to come up with a huge structure. It's like we literally, we brought our coffee pot into the office. We have coffee. We sing some stuff a cappella. We hang out. We interact with people. And, as Seinfeld would say, that's a show. and we literally hang out for a couple hours. So it's
It's a
been,
hangout.
yeah,
Yeah, it should. I mean, and when you're a musician, it shouldn't feel like you're on stage giving a formal, show. It should
mhm,
feel like you invited your friends over to your rehearsal room
yeah,
and you're having beers and playing some music. Like
mhm,
that's what works,
yeah,
on this kind of live streaming. Now, if you're going to do like event live streaming,
right, right, right,
like the way that Code Orange did, right? And they're just like, this is our album release party. We wanted to give you a really good show, and you can't be here. We're going to give you the show online. Like
yep,
that works too. But for this sort of this longer term strategy, of being a creator on a live stream platform, the
mhm,
play for that is intimacy and
yeah,
community, creating community around yourself. And it kind of becomes like a little family reunion every time you have a show, you know? In fact,
definitely,
on Marina's channel, her audience named it Marina Wood because we're in LA. So it's kind of like Hollywood. They're like, oh, we're in Marina Wood. So we
yeah,
just kind of ran with it. And
yeah,
now we have, Welcome to Marina Wood on as an overlay, as a graphic overlay.
mhm,
Um, it's not on this one because I took the screenshot before we did it. And then when someone follows, the alert they get is welcome to Marina Wood.
that's
So
cool,
it's, these organic things kind of happen.
sure,
And when she takes a break, like over the holiday, she took like a little time off and we all kind of, the first stream back, we're like, hey, how everybody doing? What'd you do for your holiday? There's
mhm,
a whole community that happens amongst the viewers, almost separate from the streamer, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
There's another reason to come back. There's another reason to want to use the emoji, another reason to, want to be there and participate. So
that's
yeah,
cool,
it's a real it's phenomenal medium. I still can't
yeah,
quite get, I still think it's phenomenal. I still can't quite believe this actually exists and is accessible to everybody. And it's why I dropped everything and, wrote a book about it.
interesting. Just
Hmm.
had one of my shaker eggs fall on the floor from our session this morning. I'm like, huh, wonder why that
Oh.
was waiting to fall. So, speaking of the book and the course,
Hmm.
I want to say thank you because you actually did offer up a discount for a discount code for my indie band coach viewers. So
Hmm.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
If you are watching this, you can actually go to twitchformusicians.com, and if you buy the book from your website, right?
The ebook, yeah, the
The
ebook. If
ebook,
you want to
yeah,
print it, if you want to print, you have to go to one of the retailers, but the ebook is on my site.
yes. So if you want the ebook, you can actually, it's if you scroll down a little bit to the bottom, you can actually purchase that. And at checkout, if you use IBC20, you will actually get 20% off of that. So I think it's like
Yay.
$12 or something like that. Yes.
Yeah,
So yes, thank you for that. That is awesome. And then the same thing, I think it's 20% with the course.
it is. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. So it's
mhm,
like instead of 197 or something, it's like 150 something. I think
yeah.
is what that equates to. So
It's a
and
long course. It's
yes,
a
that
lot. It's a lot.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I've created courses before and I'm like, oh man, I gotta rethink my pricing structure because this is worth way more than the 197. Even well, yeah, the 157 especially. But yeah, this
Yeah.
is really, really good. Really, really good like info in there. And so yeah, so you said there's audio, sorry, there's videos and
Mhm.
there's like worksheets and things in the
Mhm.
course as well.
Yeah, and the Q&A with me. There's a little message board Q&A on every lesson, and I read that every day. So if you have questions,
Oh,
you get me,
gotcha.
which is
Oh, so
great.
it doesn't matter. So you're actually in there real time. So regardless of when someone takes the course, you're
No,
in there.
it's time shifted. It's a message board.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I check the boards every day and respond to questions every day.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, but yeah, it's just a message board. But if anything, if you're stuck on anything, then
Yeah.
yeah. And the more people I get in there, I can also do live streams.
Ah,
So if I get to the point where I get enough people in the class at once, then I can start doing like live stream Q and A's like I'm doing now, and
yeah.
like bring guests in and stuff. So I'm hoping that we get enough students that we can make that worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that is great. Well, yeah. Are there any points that we might not have covered
Gosh, I
that
don't
you
know.
can
I feel
think
like we
of?
covered so much. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, we had Connor comment and just said great content. So he was obviously getting something out of this, and I'm actually going to share this in the group again. But and the other thing to mention as well is if you are watching this on replay, we're actually going to be doing another session in another group on Thursday if you're actually watching this today. But yeah, we'll get a chance to go into the Cover Band Central group and present to them as well. So in case you want to hop on there live and ask Karen some questions, please feel free to do that. But that'll be the 19th. Is today the 18th? Yeah, the 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific. Yeah. So Karen, I know you have a lot of stuff going on. You're moderating panels, virtual panels for South by Southwest this week.
Well, it's not for South by. A lot of our friends had South by panels, so we just
in lieu of maybe
we offered a space for them online to do their panels. So I'm going to do all the live stream production on that and probably just put it on Facebook or something. But
that's cool.
Yeah, we're anybody who lost their panel and wants to resurrect it, they can do it with us.
So, that's awesome.
Yeah,
cool. Well, regardless of the dynamics, I know that you're busy, so I want to thank you for taking the time out to present to our audience here. And yeah, I will be sharing the link and get emails out and stuff for those of you who haven't had a chance to see the stream. But Karen, thank you very much.
This is so much fun. Thanks so much. And I'm on Twitter at Twitch for Music. If you have questions, I'm most active on Twitter. I have a Facebook too, but I know people seem to like to talk to me on Twitter, so hit me up there if you have questions.
For music.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep, that's it. That's me.
Good deal. So yeah, hit Karen up, hit me up if you got questions. And Karen, thank you very much. And we will definitely keep in touch and let you know if there's any changes or cool stuff happening. We'll let you know. Or actually, you'll let us know, hopefully.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Right on. Thank you so much. It's so much fun.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Have a good day.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye.